Hey Droogies, what's going on today? It is Sam from Gemini, and if you don't know who I am, then that's perfectly fine, because I probably don't know who you are, so let's just call it a mutual understanding. Now, what's important is today I'm going to talk to you about some of the most ridiculous things I've heard martial artists say about martial arts. Let's go! Booyah! First most ridiculous thing I've heard a martial artist say about martial arts is kickboxing isn't a real martial art. Okay, so kickboxing is not a martial art. Now, I'm going to say off the bat, yes it is. Why? It has punches, it has kicks, it has strategies, it has tactics, it has rules. Everything you can find in a martial art is going to be found in kickboxing. The only things it may lack in regards to the archetype of a martial art is that it doesn't necessarily have choreographed or academic self-defense. However, in the street, if somebody tries accosting you like a bathroom bully and you punch them in the face and it stops the attack, you have done self-defense. So the fact that you're not doing these elaborate, complex wrist locks, cavalier locks, half Nelsons, what have yous, doesn't detract from it being a form of self-defense. You can defend yourself with kickboxing in the street. Just because you're not going to grabs and grapples, it doesn't mean that it is not a martial art. But the other point people could say about kickboxing, it doesn't have a philosophy. Well, it does, because in kickboxing training, you're still learning ring craft, you're still learning tactics, you're learning strategies. In Japanese, we call that senjutsu, loosely translated as tactics. So you're still learning this stuff. So that makes up the philosophy of kickboxing. It is an applied, practical philosophy. May not necessarily have the archetypical sort of moral, holistic philosophies, but at the end of the day, a martial art is literally translated as an art of war. So it doesn't necessarily mean to have a holistic philosophical outlook to make it any less a martial art. Kickboxing is a martial art. Whew. On to point number 2. I trained on broken glass. I trained on broken glass. Okay, so where do I even start with this one? You trained on broken glass. You might have trained on broken glass. I wasn't there to say that you didn't as a fact. However, I think in this day and age, this came from somebody who lives in the Western Hemisphere. They live in an urbanized area of the UK. And I don't see any westernized instructor making their students train on broken glass where they risk getting infection, they risk getting hurt, they risk getting blood poisoning, septicemia. I just don't see that happening. And at the end of the day, why train on broken glass? What is the purpose of training on broken glass? Oh, it makes me less afraid. Yeah, I mean, like what? Well, I could be in a street fight and there's broken glass beer bottles all over the floor. Yes, but you don't have a street fight in your bare feet, do you? You don't go out on a Friday night on the tiles in your bare feet. You're going to be wearing shoes. So maybe if you want to overcome your fear of being hurt, do some physical conditioning. You know, have students maybe like lightly punch and kick you into the abdomen, punch your thighs, all this kind of stuff. Don't punch the head, that's just stupid. But doing those latter exercises I just explained help you psychologically overcome your fear of being hit, and physically they condition your body to being hit. You don't need to train on broken glass. That's just BS, and it's stupid. It's a stupid thing to say. On to point number 3. There are no punches in Taekwondo. Let me tell you something, Jack. There are. Point number 4. Yeah, I killed a cow with a golf ball. I killed a cow with a golf ball. No, you didn't. You did not kill a cow with a golf ball. To do so would be animal abuse, which I believe carries quite a hefty sentence. A cow does not just randomly walk across the road in England. In India, I lived in India, and you got cows going across the road and going into shops and eating bike seats. I actually saw that. But not in England. You know, a cow is going to be a privately owned animal which lives on a farm, and farms are owned by people. So if you killed a cow, that would have meant that you killed an animal that was considered private property of someone. so you caused criminal damage under the eyes of the law. Point number 5.
My instructor is a student of Bruce Lee.
My instructor is a student of Bruce Lee. Yeah, I'm not buying that one either. I mean, I don't know your instructor on a personal level, but I've checked their credentials on their website, and I've also trained with people who trained with that instructor, and no, he is not a student of Bruce Lee. He attended seminars, which was run by a student of Bruce Lee, but attending seminars is not the same as having regular, frequent tuition with a certified instructor. So no, you are not the student of Bruce Lee. Next.
What's your wife's name?
Not your fucking business. Next.
Don't punch in a fight. Your pouches don't count.
Okay, we could look at this from a few different perspectives. This was actually at a competition, so it was from a competition perspective. Sure, you might be at a competition and your punches may not score if you're going on a point-based system, but punches will still wear your opponent down, whether they score or not. If you keep punching somebody into the sternum, Kyokushin punch them into the arm, they're going to wear down. Somebody's got a guard up, you keep punching into the arm, it's going to wear itself down and they're going to have no defense. Punches do not count for shit. Punches do serve purposes. Whether they're being points scored on that or not, I would still recommend using punches. Also, incorporate punches into combinations, because if your opponent is not expecting punches and you come in with a combination with punches and then throw a kick, it's going to psychologically mess them up. It's going to play around with their head. They're not going to be expecting it, and there's going to be more chance of you landing something if you throw something in combination as opposed to being a one-hit wonder.
Choi Kwang Do is the most effective martial art.
It was inevitably going to be in this list. Yep, Choi Kwang Do. Okay, so Choi Kwang Do claims to be proven to be the most effective martial art in the world. It's not. It's not proven anything. This was a claim made on their website. Choi Kwang Do continuously says stuff like, we're the most effective martial art in the world. It's been proven. It's not been proven. To make a statement like that, you need to back it up with references, you need to back it up with evidence. Then it will be proven. But to just say, we're the most effective martial art in the world, and you don't prove anything, you're just making a statement. You're not proving anything. It's just a baseless statement you're making. So until Choi Kwang Do actually gets out there and there's actually footage or written evidence or some sort of collaboration that yes, Choi Kwang Do did prove itself to be the most effective martial arts via witnesses, then it's not. As a matter of fact, Choi Kwang Do isn't even a martial art. It's a con. It's a scam. End of.
My instructor organised a Chinese guy with a really long ponytail to attack me on the streets of Brighton, where I beat him using my dark Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah, again, I don't see this happening, because that would be considered assault or organising assault on one of your students. And I don't see any self-respecting instructor organising somebody to come along in the street to try and attack you in order for you to prove your abilities. As a matter of fact, I don't see even like the Chinese guy with this big long ponytail who may or may not even exist. There's no evidence to support he exists. But I don't see him walking along in the street, minding his own daily business. An instructor comes up and says, hey, I want to rig my student up. So can you attack him on Brighton Beach at 11 o'clock on this date? I'll pay you good money. No self-respecting person's going to agree to that. If you want to test your student, you mention to them that you want to test them. You'd like to see them showcase their abilities and what you've taught them as an instructor. And you organise for somebody to come down to your gym and roll with them. But it has to be mutually agreeable. Your student has to agree to that as well. Because if your instructor just sprung some random person you've never met onto you in the street or even into your gym to roll with you, you may not, as a student, be comfortable with that. And you may think, hey, hang on, what the hell's going on here? Why is this being set up? So, no, I don't see that happening. And if it did happen, I believe that's actually borderline criminal. So, yeah, stupid instructor. Next.
Don't ask me to spar!
This was a very friendly sparring meeting we had with various different styles came down, and we had like people from different countries who actually came over, and we're just rolling, enjoying sparring with each other. And I asked my instructor friendly and politely if he would like to spar with me. I considered that an honour to spar against my instructor, to see what I had learned could be put to use, and I saw it as an opportunity for my instructor to see that what he was teaching me was useful. I'm absolutely fine sparring students. As a matter of fact, I like sparring students for those very reasons I just mentioned. It's a learning experience for me as an instructor. It's a learning experience for my students to see what I'm teaching them is working. This instructor, though, don't ask me to spar. Well, why not? I wasn't rude about it. I didn't push you into it. I asked you politely and respectfully if I could have the honour to do that. No. And why is that? Most instructors would say no because they're scared that you'd show them up, or you'd show that what they're teaching you is crap. Any self-respecting instructor, or any instructor who's actually not experiencing cognitive dissonance or any beef with his students, would be quite happy to roll with his students. There was no issue with that, and most people with decency and rationale would say there's no issue with that. However, this guy did. Guys, those are some of the most ludicrous things I've heard martial artists say about other martial arts, or their martial arts abilities, or the whole paradigm and world of martial arts. The older I get, what I'm realizing is that the world of martial arts is a very weird place, full of equally weird people. So, what are some of the weirdest things, or the strangest things you've heard other martial artists say about martial arts or their abilities? Please do let me know in that comment section. It's down there for a reason. Use it, damn it. Just use that comment section. Like this video as well. You don't have to like me, but like the video. In the meantime, guys, stay safe, train hard, keep listening to Iron Maiden because they're the best band around, and I'll see you in the next video. Where are you? Yeah, there you are. And booyah!